like it's a Halloween movie. We'll dive into whether or not it's not. I believe everybody knows that it's not, but we're going to discuss it anyways.
It's a Maleficent movie.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting. They made 2 of these.
I thought this was a really good movie.
Oh, okay, well, you do lean a little Disney. You like some Disney.
Except all these remakes they made this year.
This is a remake.
Of what?
Sleeping Beauty, dude.
Oh, no, but this is like a side story.
Yeah, that's true. And
Sorry.
it's all good, man. Make sure you don't have your Wi-Fi on.
No.
Okay. But yeah, we're talking Maleficent. No spoilers yet. How soon should people see Maleficent?
I want to watch it this week.
If you really like the first one and really like Disney stuff and Angelina Jolie, I say see it before it leaves theaters. You know.
Okay.
Otherwise, you might be able to wait. You know, I didn't care for it as much, but we'll dive into it. Gwen Williams asks, "What's up?"
What's up?
You know, stuff. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
But yeah, if there's any Angelina Jolie movies you guys want to talk about, you know, let us know. You know, I've seen quite a few. I think Sergio has too.
I can't remember the last Angelina Jolie movie.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith? Salt?
Who is that one with Brad Pitt? No.
Yeah, with Brad Pitt.
Okay.
That's how like they met, and then he broke it off with Rachel from Friends.
Oh.
Gwen Williams said she loves Salt. So you haven't seen Salt?
No.
It's like an early version of Atomic Blonde with Charlize Theron, like hard hitting, and she's a secret agent. And the whole time you're kind of wondering, is she like a sleeper Russian agent or is she a triple agent?
But I thought that was Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
She plays a lot of agents apparently.
Okay.
But yeah, Salt was like her solo act. Like, you know, it could have been easily like her version of James Bond, but for some reason they didn't make another one. Maybe it didn't make enough money or something. But it was a solid flick.
Oh.
Gwen, if you want to give us any insights on Salt, please do.
I mean, she made Tomb Raider too, right? So.
Oh yeah, Tomb Raider's great.
Okay.
Do you remember any of that? Gwen also liked Tomb Raider.
It's just very forgettable, but.
Ah, come on. Here, I got an image for that. Lara Croft is looking at you.
All right.
Just like staring in judgment.
What did you just say about my movie? Okay.
I enjoyed it. Like, I think it's still probably the best video game movie or movie based off a video game.
Okay.
You know, if you want to consider Scott Pilgrim vs. the World a video game movie, then that's the best one.
Okay.
But I like Lara Croft. Like, it's funny, the screenwriting book I read, like they pointed out like how Lara Croft isn't a very likable character in the movie. Mm-hmm. That she's just cool, and that's not enough. And I'm like, it kind of is enough, you know, with Tomb Raider. She's cool, and that makes her likable.
Okay.
It doesn't work for a lot of movies.
Okay.
You know, like, you could, like, talk about, like, what are those vampire movies that are kind of like this?
Pretty much all of them.
Mila Jovovich movies.
Oh.
You know, like, she plays a really cool, you know, butt kicker. Not terribly likable. But for some reason, Angelina Jolie pulls it off.
Okay. This movie was great.
Okay, you want to dump into spoilers already? Talk freely?
Suppose.
Okay, spoilers is up. What'd you like about this one?
It's very dark.
Yeah.
It's very dark. The horns, there's a lot of symbolism. Like, they're crows. I wanted to see the first one. I just haven't had time to watch it.
Yeah, you want me filling in on the first one?
We'll fill it in later.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, interesting enough. Like you hopped in like, oh, there's a relationship between her and this like adopted daughter, and you're like, huh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, and there's this whole other kingdom that they're like giving the history of, and it's like, okay, the dad's nice, the mom's evil. You know, the king and queen, the mom's evil, and it's like, you know, I'm gonna use this as an excuse to kill all fairy folk.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, what are the fairies?
Just magical creatures of the forest, I guess.
Okay. And they all work with her, Maleficent?
Right, yeah. Like she didn't start out as their boss, but then like in the first movie she becomes like the boss because of hatred.
I was trying to figure out what her powers were.
Oh yeah, it's odd. I think
Is she a sorcerer? Is she a witch? What is she?
sorceress, I think, would
Okay.
be, yeah. And, you know, she can do curses, and that's like the green fire when you do a curse,
Oh, so
apparently.
she can do curses.
Right. And that's like the whole thing in the first movie, like Sleeping Beauty, she puts a sleeping curse on the girl.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's like unbreakable. If she touches a sewing needle, she'll go into like a coma, sleep forever.
Okay.
So yeah, but it's very different. Like they change it up a lot in the first movie. Is now a good time to tell you about the first movie?
Just a very easy.
Okay, easy. Okay. Oh man, there's so much.
Oh no, forget it.
So when she was young, she befriended a young kid, and the young kid, to get in the good graces of the king and become like the prince and eventually king, he steals her wings, like saws them off, and it's like this like epic scene where she's like just screeching in pain, like because she got her wings stolen, you know. And so she comes back when she recovers, and she comes back when he's king, and she's like, okay, I put a curse on your baby daughter, you know. And if she touches sewing needles, she'll die. And then so the whole time, Maleficent is watching this little girl grow up and actually protecting her from afar. And then she grows to love the little girl, you know, and she tries to remove the curse but can't. And the king, you know, he's getting worse and worse, building like iron weapons to, you know, fight the fairy folk if Maleficent ever attacks. And then it, you know, kind of turns into Lord of the Rings at the end.
Yeah, I was gonna say this movie looked a lot like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, you know,
without the gore.
right. Yeah, medieval fantasy, but no bloodshed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings, maybe the Hobbit movies. But yeah, there's this trend. It started, you know, mid 2000s, where you take a fairy tale, quote unquote, and turn it into an action movie.
Like Once Upon a Time, the show.
Yeah, a little bit. Or
Okay.
like Jack the Giant Slayer, Hansel and Gretel, Witch Killers, or whatever that movie was called, Van Helsing.
Van
You know,
Helsing, yeah.
So a lot of movies like that. But yeah, so it even though the girl met the prince before she got the curse, they just met. They're not in love, so the kiss didn't work. But Maleficent gave her a kiss because she loved her, and it worked.
Oh.
And she gets her wings back and is happy, you know. Oh, and the bad guy is the guy from District 9. So we could use that excuse.
Well, which guy from District?
The main guy.
The main guy? What's
Yeah.
his name?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Oh, I can look it up. I got it. Charlito Copley.
Oh, okay.
Charlito Copley. And he also played Chappie.
Chappie.
He
Oh, yeah,
voiced
yeah.
Chappie in Chappie.
Okay.
Should kids watch this movie?
Yes, it's not that bad. And
Yeah. It does get a little spooky, you
that's
know.
good. These kids need more spooky.
Yeah, so if you have an 8-year-old who wants something for Halloween, this could be fine for their spooky Halloween thing.
I'm okay with a 5-year-old watching this too.
Okay. I'm not.
Oh, okay.
6.5. Because I'm an expert.
Oh.
No, I'm not. I keep forgetting I can do videos now. Boom.
I mean, I really appreciate the animation in the movie.
Yeah.
I think Disney's been doing really good at this.
Yeah, they know who to go to for their properties. You know, it's probably the same folks that did, you know, Jungle Book, and this trend really started with Alice in Wonderland. Like I proposed at the beginning of the video, why make a sequel? You know,
Right.
And it's partly Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland made tons of money in China. Like America was okay with it, but it made enough money overseas that they're like, okay, let's make a second one. And again, China went out and saw it, so it made its money back. And I was looking at the box office numbers for the first movie. Guess how much the first movie made?
I don't know.
So domestically, over 100 million.
Okay.
And overseas, it was like over 500 million for a total of 700 million. But like Deadline thinks after all the expenses, and there were some reshoots, that it only made 100 million something. You know, so if it spent 600 million in, you know, graphics and promotions, but they still made, you know, 100 million profit. Whereas a movie like Han Solo with all the reshoots lost like 500 million.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But yeah.
I'm surprised.
So, but yeah, and another theory I have is like they're always looking for like this medieval fantasy movies. Like Lord of the Rings was huge, right?
Right.
And so Disney bought up Chronicles of Narnia. And the first movie did okay. You know, not spectacular, but they kept making them. Like they made 3 in total, you know. And like I think the third one was mostly CGI, green screens, not real sets, but still it never took off like Disney hoped or predicted. Oh. Maybe it did okay in Britain or Europe. Like it's funny how sometimes that's enough to keep it going.
Right.
You know, like I was reading Terminator came out overseas, didn't do so hot, you know, in these, you know, sparse countries that it came out in. But Joker is just sweeping Europe right now.
Really?
Yeah, they're going gangbusters for it. And
wow.
And it has pretty good retention, like it's still making money. It's right now set to be the highest grossing rated R movie ever.
Wow.
Yeah. And then there's this movie in China that made 85 million, you know. Wow. Purely Chinese production, you know.
A lot of competition out there.
Yeah. So we didn't talk much about what happened in this movie. So Aurora, the princess, gets proposed to, right? And Maleficent's not happy, but she's like, okay, I'll come to your stinking dinner if you want.
She's like the protective mother.
Right. And yeah, and then the queen purposely like goads her into a fight, you know, and sets it up so it looks like Maleficent put a curse on the king, even though it was the queen herself that essentially poisoned him with magic. But yeah, and so that sets it up. And then Maleficent gets injured and discovers, oh, there's a lot more, you know, winged, you know, fairies. I guess she's a fairy. I really don't know.
Right.
She'd be more a harpy if I was going to put, you know, in a mythical creature category.
Well, what was that powder they were hitting the fairies with? The red one.
It's like, so they're mixing iron dust. Like iron is, in mythology, kills fairies. Mm-hmm. You know, they don't like it. But they were mixing it with like pollen from their death flowers. Like when they die, these flowers sprout up.
Yeah. So it turns them back into like regular organic flowers.
Right. They turns them non-magical, essentially.
Oh, I saw Groot in there.
Yeah, there were some like tree guys. They're cool looking.
I mean, just ripping off Groot, but
I mean, I think Lord of the Rings did it first.
Okay.
When Trents, I think they're called.
Trents.
Yeah, walking living trees. Man, I miss Lord of the Rings. How come you never see those thrown back in theaters? Because they're 3 hours long.
Because they suck, you know.
Oh, you're off the show.
Oh my God.
Take your mic. You don't like Lord of the Rings?
I'm just messing with you.
Oh, okay, thank you. Oh man, I was gonna have a hernia.
Oh,
my organs were gonna jump from my chest.
What about the? I really like the castle. The castle, the whole kingdom, how it was designed.
Yeah, it was pretty neat. In the first movie, the castle in that one's pretty grim. Mm-hmm. And this one was like more bright, lots of courtyards and hedges. It was an interesting place to hold a fight, you know?
Right.
Like it was very open air, which is enjoyable. Like I'm trying to remember, you know, something as cheery as that battlefield was.
Right.
Yeah, very interesting.
What about the people? Were the relatives or her kind, her breed in the first one?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Like, it was just assumed, like, she was, like, one of a kind in that magical forest, you know? Like, she kind of ruled the roost because she could fly and, you know, do magic stuffs.
It started to trip me out when they said that she was the Phoenix.
Right.
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
How is she the Phoenix?
Yeah, in both movies, I'm waiting the whole movie for her to turn into a dragon, you know? And both movies, it never happens.
Did she turn into a dragon in Sleeping Beauty?
In Sleeping Beauty, she turns the crow into a dragon.
She turns the crow into
And it's not the dragon. Like, that's the cool part of Sleeping Beauty is, you know, she turns into this, you know, green flame dragon, you know? And then the prince rides in and slays her, you know?
Oh.
I think.
I haven't seen Sleeping Beauty in a long time.
A Dino Baby is watching us.
Who's Dino Baby?
Dino Baby is the best baby.
Oh.
Thank you for watching, Dino Baby.
Okay.
But yeah, so Maleficent, you know, Mistress of Evil, you know, fun movie. Not terribly deep. Did it get political?
Yes, very political.
Did it?
Very political.
Well, please explain, Professor.
Like the politics about like who should rule, what is best for the kingdom.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things in there.
Okay.
I was like, oh my god, this is layer after layer after layer of philosophy in there. I was like, and
Are you making this up?
All the feels. What the hell? It was such a good movie. It's the best movie that's came out this year.
Are you sure you went into the right movie?
Oh, no.
You did accidentally go into Hocus Pocus with all of its political satire.
I was watching Hocus Pocus the other day too.
Really?
Parts of it, yeah.
Anybody want to talk about Hocus Pocus? I think they're greenlighting Hocus Pocus 2.
No.
Yes.
No.
I like Bette Midler, and I think our fans really like Bette Midler as well. As a killer song.
This movie is really good.
Yeah, I say fine tale, you know. I think I saw it on Dolby, I saw it in 3D, and it was well done in 3D. Yeah. So, yeah, very enjoyable. I did miss the very first part of the movie. Like, I did 2 movies at once. I did Zombieland and Maleficent the same day, and I really had to use the restroom.
Oh.
For the first part of Maleficent. What happened at the first part? It was like these guys trying to steal magical stuff, and 2 of them died somehow.
No, it's just her sitting in the garden and
Eating potatoes.
meeting up with the prince and getting proposed to.
Yeah, but before that, there was a couple of thieves.
I don't remember that. That's where I started watching it.
Maybe they cut it out of later viewings.
I don't know.
It wasn't. If it was necessary, I didn't notice it because it seemed like I caught up whatever I was missing.
When she's having dinner, like she says you can't touch iron, right?
Right.
What does Maleficent eat? I was just thinking, does she eat chicken or?
That's interesting. I don't know if she eats meat or doesn't.
I mean, what kind of diet does she have?
Like, I'd assume fruits and vegetation. She'd be like sing to a tree and it'd give her an apple or something.
Okay.
You know, but even that, like, you know, are some fruits her friends?
I don't know.
The potato witch, you know, does she eat her?
I don't know.
Yeah, too many questions.
Well, one of the silly things in the movie was where the girl's playing the piano and they're throwing the dust and they're all trapped in the chapel, right?
That was silly.
Just shoot one thing right in the middle and kill them all. Like,
yeah.
So I was like, okay.
Yeah, that was silly. The organ thing, like, it could have easily just been like, just keep flooding the room. You know, you don't need to, you know, do pumpkin bombs. You're not the Green Goblin.
Oh my God.
Spider-Man reference. At least I haven't mentioned zombies yet.
Oh. The ending was kind of like screwed up too. Like, it's kind of like the Phoenix came out and everything was just still in chaos, and all of a sudden they're announcing their marriage. You know, like I just took a big U-turn. Like,
I don't know. It's kind of interesting. You know, the prince made peace. Like, I thought for sure because of who they cast for like the bad guy harpy dude, the winged dude, that, he was going to be the bad guy for sure because he was the bad guy in Deadpool. Like, he plays a lot of bad guys. I see him in films. He's going to be in this Midway film coming up later this year, but where he's a good guy American, even though he's British. But yeah, I thought for sure going to be bad guy all the way. But nope, he does a turn, and there's peace amongst the fairy folk and the townspeople.
Right. That cave, all the winged, her kind were living in.
Yeah.
Look kind of like the one in the Pokemon movie, the third one. Where
There's a third Pokemon movie?
Yeah. Well, there's like 15, but.
Give me a break, 15?
Yeah.
How?
It's one where like Mewtwo takes all his Pokemon into Sanctuary, kind of. Well, anyway.
Isn't that the first one?
No, that's the third one.
Isn't that Detective Pikachu?
No. That's like the 18th movie.
I should make fun of you more for Pokemon.
Yeah. You should.
Anything else we want to talk about with this film?
Not really. What's next week's movie?
I don't know. I think there's a little bit before Terminator Dark Fate. I think it might be next week. Here, I got it right here. Let us know in the comments if there's movies you guys want to watch.
What other movie came out this week?
Jojo Rabbit and Countdown, the Death App movie we were making fun of last time. And
How's that doing?
Jane and Silent Bob. I hadn't seen the numbers yet.
Oh.
I don't think they've released them.
What is Western Star?
Yeah, Western Stars. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's Sting singing country songs.
Oh no.
No.
Picture. No.
Yeah, Black and Blue, that came out this week. But I think maybe we'll take next week off and then refocus on Terminator in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good. I think Terminator is going to be a fun time. You know,
Okay.
I did skip. Did you see Genesis?
No.
It's pronounced Genesis, but yeah, that was the last one.
Oh.
I skipped it too. You know, wasn't terribly interested. But this one, I'm all in.
Okay.
So we'll see you in 2 weeks, guys. Thank you for joining us as always. And remember, stay classy.
Okay. See ya.
See ya.